Alright guys, what's up? Rosario here with another video. Today we're gonna do a really fun one, a video that's been done probably a million times, so I'm really late to the party, but I still wanted to chime in with my 2 cents and do basically the Natty or Not video, where I'm gonna go through some of the most famous fitness influencer on the internet and trying to, I don't know, give my most honest opinion about whether I think if they're natural or not. Now, I divided all these influencers and athletes and whatever into three categories. One is probably not, so they're probably steroids. Suspicious, so people who they might or they might not be on steroids, and people who I think they're probably natural. Now, the reason why I'm using the conditional is because to be fair, they could all be on steroids. Like, there's no way to tell, even once in their lifetime or whatever, if they used steroids 10 years ago or last month. It's very hard to tell. And also, since genetics play such a big role into one's appearance, it's very hard to tell whether their look has to do with steroids or with their genetics and hard work. So I'm gonna start with I think the least controversial ones, which are the athletes that I think that are probably natural. And this is a trio of athletes that pretty much everyone who's into fitness knows. They're some of the most popular athletes and some of my favorites. To be fair, I learned so much from them, and I actually think that if any of these people, we found out that they're on steroids, the whole fitness industry will collapse, at least the virtual one. Now, I'm gonna start with who I think is probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite, which is Will Tennyson. Now, he is a Canadian fitness influencer and YouTuber. And actually, ironically, what I enjoyed the most about Will Tennyson is, his documentaries where he goes into random places, and analyzes why people there are so healthy or so unhealthy, to shine a light on the whole fitness industry, on the whole food industry. So I think those documentaries are very, very interesting. And if you guys think that this is something that you might like, find them on his channel because they're really, really good. Now, this is not about his creative contribution, it's more about his physique. So let's get into it. So he obviously has a great physique, like every person on my list. I think he's natural because for sure he has great genetics for bodybuilding, but I also think that it doesn't look that freaky. Like, he looks good, he's muscular and round and fairly lean, but it's not like that lean that you can see his organs or bones, and it's not like 6% all the way around, or it doesn't have like the crazy amount of mass paired with crazy amount of conditioning. That would definitely be a red flag. He's also won a natural competition, which obviously is no guarantee that is natural, but it's something that adds up, I guess. All right, next one on the list would be Jesse James West. Now, my reasoning for Jesse James West, for thinking that he is actually natural, is pretty much the same as Will Tennyson. So he's won also like natural competition, but again, that could mean absolutely nothing. He has a great physique, he has a good amount of size and also good conditioning, but he's not that freaky that would, makes me feel that he's taking something. I think that comparing his physique with how many years he's been working out and, the fact that he has access to the best nutrition, the best gyms in the world, etc. And this, by the way, would be the reason for most of the people on the list. But yeah, like, considering the context of his physique, I think is doable, and it's not like he's built his physique in a couple of years. So he's been working on it for like 10, probably even 15 years. So I think it's reasonable to think that is natural. Now, the last one on the list will be the king himself of natural athletes, the one and only Jeff Nippard. So this guy like has helped so many people getting in shape. He's a great ambassador for natural bodybuilding, for science-based lifting. I absolutely love his content, and I learned so much. I think that sometimes maybe he overcomplicates a lot of things, but I also absolutely appreciate the dedication and the attention to detail that he goes into when he dissects a subject. So that is absolutely remarkable. Now, when it comes to his physique, I think he is quite big. But also like the conditioning is not like he is shredded, but it's not like shredded all year round. It's not like peeled to the bone, and also you can clearly see the passage from bulk to cut, because it's not like he loses a lot of muscle, but also, but obviously like a lot of the roundness of the muscles, and also a little bit of the fullness gets lost, because when you're natural and you cut, you sacrifice a lot of it. Again, like this is also another case where we need to make sure like that this guy is natural, because if one day we find out that it's not, the whole Instagram community and YouTube community would kind of like revolt against every fitness influencer, because this guy is the biggest ambassador for natural bodybuilding. So I think honestly it looks great. He's been working out for so many years, and as I mentioned, he's one of the pillars of science-based lifting. So he clearly knows what he's doing. He gets himself checked regularly, tracks his progress. He's been trying to optimize his training and his diet for so many years that it's honestly very, very reasonable to think that he is natural, and also that he's one of the few people I think that's actually quite close to his natural potential in terms of building muscles. So this is for natural bodybuilding for now. I just wanted to do like the three biggest ones, and then I'm gonna do 3 for suspicious and 3 for definitely not natty. Then I'm gonna do probably more in another video because I have a long list. But yeah, those are the 3 ones that I wanted to start with. All 3 of them have been major inspiration for me, and they helped, they taught me so much about lifting and about living a healthier, better life. So yeah, I think that they're the perfect ambassador for natural bodybuilding, and yeah, just I hope that more people take inspiration from them rather than from people who, I don't know, kind of like glorify maybe the use of steroids. So yeah, that's it for this section of the video. Now let's move on to the suspicious ones. Okay, so for this section, I'm gonna go into the people who I think are suspicious, as in they could be natural, but also there are some red flags that make me think that they're not. One of this, and again, this is another one of my favorite YouTuber, like I've been following this guy for like 15 years, and he's Matt Does Fitness. Now, the reason why I think he's suspicious is because from one point of view, he doesn't have any physical side effects of steroids. He doesn't have like a receding hairline, he doesn't have any like pimples, or he doesn't have any, I don't know, like the aging of the face seem natural and things like that. He's also got, I don't know, great proportions and, great flow of his physique, but that obviously is due also to his incredible genetics and the fact that he also has been working out for, I think, 20 years or something like that. So yeah, the fact why I think he's suspicious is because he is incredibly strong, but again, like this might be due to his genetics. Some people are naturally more strong, stronger than others, but also like the sheer amount of size of this guy. Like he is huge. Like he looks big on camera, but he's actually really, really big, and he also keeps a very low body fat all year round, which again is something that makes me think that he might have taken something. Maybe it's just testosterone, who knows. But yeah, I think it's one of the suspicious ones, because when you pair, if it's just mass but it's high body fat, or it's just conditioning but with low muscle, that makes me think more of a natural athlete. But when you combine those and you make them over time, that is definitely suspicious, because it's not just hard to build that kind of physique, it's also very, very hard to maintain it, especially with a very busy lifestyle. Second guy on the list is Steve Cook. Now, this is one of the OG, I don't know, fitness influencers. Like, who doesn't know Steve Cook or hasn't seen him like grow from like a random YouTuber to one of the pillars of the fitness industry? He's a great guy, very charming, very athletic. Also, I love how he's always kind of like changing the game, like not just focusing on bodybuilding and competition, but also like becoming more hybrid and incorporating more performance-based things like high rocks and whatnot. So it's also very interesting to see his evolution as creator and as fitness person. The reason why I think he's suspicious, again, is probably the same reason as Matt does fitness, is because he's not just huge, but he has huge muscles, which also obviously is because of his great genetics, but he has also very, very low body fat, and he maintains it all year round. Like, maintaining that kind of size with that low body fat percentage all year round on a busy lifestyle, it was very, very hard. So that makes me think that he might have taken something, again, like same exactly thing as Matt does fitness. It could be just testosterone, but still that doesn't make him natural. So I definitely think that Steve Cook, like, I wouldn't bet my money on him being natural. I would actually more, I don't know, lean more towards him being enhanced, because I think for sure there's I don't know, like not anomalies, but like freaks of nature, and I mean that in the most respectful way, that they're bound to exist. They're rare, otherwise they wouldn't be freaks of nature. But yeah, I think there's also still like limitations on how the human body can grow and improve like over time. We have a clear ceiling, which is based on also on our bone structure, on our genetics, and the only way to break through that ceiling still in a relative way, but you can definitely go above that just by using certain compounds. Now, the last one on the list is another big name. Everyone knows him. He's one of the OGs, the king of aesthetics, one of the biggest athletes in Gymshark roster, and he's David Lade. Now, David Lade, like, again, is one of those guys that whoever has been into fitness for any length of time, like for the past 10, 15 years, and we've seen him like grow from skinny kid to like one of the best physiques in the industry, is definitely the heir to Z's in terms of aesthetics, and he's been carrying over that kind of vibe about being shredded and having the large shoulders, boulder shoulders with tiny waist, the kind of like V taper and the X frame. So he's actually like one of the great example of how, like, I don't know, like a men's physique should look. Yeah, the reason why I think he's suspicious is because he's really grown a lot. Like, if you see his pictures, even if it's over the course of like, I don't know, 10 to 15 years, still, like, it is a massive improvement. Like, this guy has gotten huge. He's got huge muscles. They're not just mass without conditioning. He's also veiny. We was able to keep a six pack throughout this entire transformation. He's always shredded. So the consistency of the way he improves his muscle mass and he's able to retain most of the conditioning is kind of suspicious. Now, he could be natural because, again, he has great ethics, great passion for the craft, dedication, like any of the athletes on this list. I just think it's a bit suspicious the way he literally looks inflated now compared to, the what is expected to be a natural progression with this starting point. But yeah, again, I could be wrong about any of this, and it could totally be natural. I don't know. Now, this is the suspicious ones. So now we're gonna move on into the hot territory, and we're gonna go into the ones that I definitely think they're not natural, and probably these names won't even like surprise you, because I don't think it's even controversial to question this. But again, like for I would say intellectual honesty, I have to at least give them the benefit of the doubt, because as far as I know, no one on the list has admitted anything, so I had to take their word for it. Now, the first one is someone who's, I think, just as popular as David Lade in the aesthetics community, and is another king, and it's Jeff Said, another king of aesthetics. Now, Jeff Said, yes, has competed many times also on the professional level, so that is already, I would say, an indicator that he's on the juice. And also, like, this structure, like, it looks so freaky in terms of V-taper and X-frame. His shoulders are like so wide. He's shredded to the bone like all year round. These to me are clear indicators that he's onto something. Now, obviously, I don't even know if any of these people have admitted it in the past, so maybe I've missed some of the videos where they say it. So please comment with the link so I can catch up with some of these things. But yeah, I think Jeff Said is definitely not natural. Again, it's not a dig on the guy, because I think he's one of the best influences in bodybuilding. It doesn't promote anything bad. It's just about the vibes and the aesthetics and loving going to the gym. So whatever like convinces people to get active and go into the gym and working out and improve their lives, gets a big thumbs up for me. Now, second one, this is another big name, one of the biggest ones, to be honest, and it's Mike Thurston. Now, this is one of my favorite ones. I love Mike Thurston content, like not just the fitness content, but also how he was able to branch out and do travel related content. Now he's doing the podcast, which is actually very interesting, and he's having a lot of great people on. But also like how he still keeps up with this coaching channel, and gives a lot of tips, not just to people who are just started lifting, but to people at every level, if they want to switch up or they want to take their gains to the next level, whatever that is. He has content for pretty much everything. So I've learned so much from Mike Thurston. It's crazy. It's probably the guy that has helped me the most on this list. I also love his business model because he's, I don't know, he looks like the kind of guy that has mastered the art of work hard, play hard. So we know him as, the whatever, like he travels and he chills and he has have fun and these wild parties, whatnot, but also as the guy who's dedicated, always in the gym, who always looks after his nutrition, etc., etc., etc. So he's I think a perfect balance of what a hard worker should be. Now, the reason why I don't think he's natural is because even though he keeps saying, he will probably say it until his last day, is that I've seen videos where he's literally standing next to a Mr. Olympia, and I'm talking about Ryan Terry, which is a huge guy, even his men's physique, like by natural standard, he's freaking huge, and he dwarfs him. Like, he is a massive guy. For sure, he has elite genetics. There's no even question about it. He looks like he's ready to compete anytime. He's probably below 10% all year round. He has freakish amount of muscle. His biceps are huge, his legs are huge, his pec is out of this world. He looks fantastic. The problem is that, again, I'm gonna sound repetitive here, but even with the most elite genetics, that kind of muscle, that kind of sheer size paired with that conditioning is, I don't think is naturally achievable even with the most insane genetics. Now obviously there is a, I think, slim chance that he is 100% natural and he's been natural his whole life because of this reason, which is the fact that he's been working out for, I think, close to 20 years, if I'm not wrong. He has access to the most elite nutrition, supplementation. He takes care very well of his recovery. He has access to the best gyms in the world. He can train with the best fitness people in the world. So for sure, like, he has all the system in place for someone to succeed and have the best physique ever. But still, yeah, I just, if I had to put money on it, I would say that it's definitely not natural. The last one on the list, you probably guessed it already, is like the most controversial, in a way the least controversial person. You know, he doesn't claim to be natural, but at the same time he's never admitted that he's on steroids, and he's Michael Hearn. Now he's on the list also because, I mean, I've been following this guy for almost all my life. He gives great advice, not just on fitness but also life in general. He's super knowledgeable. He's very aspirational because, you know, he's not just he's a family man. He's a very good influence, I think, on young people. He works hard. He's very consistent. He's been working hard for like 40 years or something like that. He's incredibly strong and he's getting close to his 60s, so that's even more incredible. And yeah, like, it's just again one of those pillars of the fitness industry that if you're into bodybuilding specifically or powerlifting, you just know the guy because he is one of the benchmark. But yeah, like, if in 2026 you still believe that there's a possibility that Michael Hearn is natural, like, you are smoking crack, as Ronnie Coleman would say. So yeah, that guy, like, even as one of the most insane genetics I've ever seen, he's very, very genetically gifted for powerlifting. He's incredibly strong at 55 years old. Again, he's even more impressive. He has amazing shapes, like muscle belly is fantastic. Like, he has such an aesthetic physique. The flow of his physique, he has great V taper, broad shoulders, huge biceps, insane legs. He's got everything, and that makes me think that he's not natural. Obviously there could be like a, I don't know, like a 1% chance that he is natural, and I'll be damned if he is. But yeah, like, that is absolutely insane. It's out of every type of reasoning. Like, it's a physique that doesn't make sense for a man that age, and, you know, like, that can carry that kind of size with that conditioning all year round, even with access to best diet, best gyms, best sleep and supplementation, whatever. It's still, I don't know, it just doesn't look even remotely achievable for a natural human being. So yeah, definitely not. But yeah, I appreciate the fact that he at least, you know, jokes about it every once in a while. So he's gonna take this secret to his grave, but at least he can make fun about it. So I honestly, I don't mind it. Like, I don't hold any grudge against any of these YouTubers, bodybuilders, or athletes, whatever you want to call them. All of them, they're in my list because I absolutely love them, love their content, and they taught me so much. That's why I know them. So yeah, that's it for today. This is my first Natty or Not videos. Let me know if you guys like this kind of content, and I'm gonna do more videos with more athletes. For today, that's it. So see you later.